So the entire crypto market has been pumping overnight yet again. Our trades are doing extremely good right now. But more importantly, there's some very interesting news that has come out over the past 24 hours that every single one of you needs to hear about because we're talking about trillions. Now, first of all, I want to quickly state that something quite interesting has popped up just now. So apparently, we all knew, right? The SEC approved a Grayscale large cap fund, which includes Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, XRP, and ADA, into an ETF. They approved that switch. So that was really huge for all of us. We were all happy because that basically meant ETFs for altcoins were now really a thing. I mean, we had Solana, we had Bitcoin, ETH, but this is still a very, very big thing. But basically, within a few hours after it all got approved and everything was beautiful, well, we had ourselves a new announcement that read, the SEC has just paused the Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund conversion into an ETF, covering Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, Solana, and ADA, placing it under further review. So that was a nice little bear trap of sorts, or well, at least right now it might be one. But one of the comments that was quite interesting was this one right here. Probably until after the bills are passed. And that reminded me of the most important, most crucial, and most interesting bill that's going around right now in, I'd say, the world, right? I mean, the world is obviously quite a big word there, but for us in the finance space, talking about investments, talking about deficits, talking about trade, this is a very, very big deal, and I'm talking about Trump's BBB, Big Beautiful Bill. He let go a statement just now. President Trump says the U.S. deficit is cut in half in anticipation of his Big Beautiful Bill. And I've actually got a lot to say about that. But first, I want to quickly say to every single one of you, thank you so much for stopping by saying hi. Every single day, I wake up and I realize, damn, all these people are out here watching these news updates every day. If you're not done yet, make sure you press that like button just to showcase you're a real person. I've been asking that the last 2 days, and I realized it's a big difference between about, let's say, 200 likes and 600 likes just when I asked. So that's why I'm asking it again. If you've not pressed that button, make sure you press it if you're actually a person watching this one. But let's dive right back into what I was talking about just now. So, well, we talked about how beautiful, or interesting really, the one big beautiful bill is, and the different steps it had to get through. But right now, it's just been placed back on Trump's desk as the U.S. House, which was basically the last step, had approved it. And earlier, Trump said the one big beautiful deal is all about, let's say, growth. This sometimes I find interesting. Maybe GTOWTH stands for something that we can't easily find, because there's no way I believe that Trump really just from his phone is typing this out with an actual spelling mistake. I refuse to believe that there is a chance the President of the United States has free reign to type whatever he wants, but that's one thing. Let's say, he does have that freedom. Then the fact that he did not see the mistake and the fact that nobody else checked this, to me, is kind of odd. Again, it's possible, but I see that chance as very small. So I see this as an intentional mistake, if it is, right? Or it means something I don't know. If passed, America will have an economic renaissance like never before. It is already happening just in anticipation of the beautiful bill. Deficit cut in half, record investment, cash, factories, jobs pouring into the USA, make America great again. And now if you're wondering why this is a pretty big deal, well, let me just quickly state that some people like Elon Musk are very much against this. Now, I should state that every single one of the people for or against have their own bias. It's not like you can objectively say a bill is bad or good because, again, there's always two sides to it. But one of the main things I think they have on it, right, is there's an end to green energy incentives. Perhaps that's what Elon is against. It could be other parts though. The $50 billion for Trump's wall, $100 billion for ICE throughout 2029, extension of Trump's 2017 tax cuts, paid for with welfare cuts, and $5 trillion in debt ceiling. Now, specifically, Elon always says that this is the biggest increase in debt ceiling and that he's basically going to ruin the US by doing this. But there have been a lot of arguments for and against. For example, some commenters are saying, you know what, actually the debt ceiling increase is to make things better for debt. So ultimately, it's a good decision, but once more, it's back and forth on that one. Now, before I dive further into all the news, though, I will quickly state a little update on the trades, right? So as it stands, we've got about $20,000 on the Bitcoin position, which again could have been so much more, about a $20,000 extra if my trade did not get canceled. Virtuals is still the loss. I'm not adding. I thought about just doubling this up to just decrease my average price from $2.70 to about, I'm going to say $2. But still, I'm not necessarily that bullish on virtual that I want to potentially keep all that downside in case no AI boom ever comes. I'm just kind of keeping this open, but it's not the meta for it right now. Ethereum, as you can see, we're about 53% up, about $7.5 thousand. And Hype, these are both only 3x leverage because I want to keep them open for a long time. We're up roughly 60% on that one as well, roughly $2,000, pretty good. And then XRP, my trade is almost $600,000 worth. Before I forget, you can actually right now get yourself a pretty nice deposit bonus over on Bluefin. Link is down below for that. But you can see you can get about 15% or so back instantly because you have yourself a nice future bonus you get for signing up. Just check it out. Link is down below. Whew, things are juicy. We're down about $16,000 on this trade right here, but I've already told you a ton of times and I'll say it again, this is going to be plus 50, plus 100,000, something like that, a plus 200,000. All we got to give it is a little bit of time. If XRP goes back to about $3, let's just quickly calculate. Let me quickly see. Our average price is about $2.33. Let's just say if it goes back to, let's just say $3.10, right? We are up almost, let's just say about $200,000 or $3.10. So that would definitely not be too bad for just this one trade. Yes, it's taken some time. I know. Which is why I want to increase this position to be slightly larger. I still am aiming to have this at least above $1 million because that way, right? If, for example, our average price were to be $2.50 ultimately, right? Let's just say that that's the case. And we are actually able to go back to the $3 mark. Then that would also be $200K, right? But think about it like this. If we get our average price to stay here at about $3.30 or $2.34-ish, if we were to go to $3.50 back to the local high of like earlier this year, basically, that was $3.40, $3.50, let's say, we actually make $500,000. And that would make all this entire waiting around worth it. So that's also what I'm trying to do. Now, at that point, again, we do pretty good. We'd still make 300,000, something like that. But we want to increase this one. We want to get it more. And also, let me remind you that there's a team trading competition going on right now. And we're not in the top 10 just quite yet, but if XRP goes in our favor here a little bit, we definitely could be. I mean, currently the price is only $112 for our team, but we got to get these numbers up there a little bit. And all we need is just more people that are trading, so use the link down below for Bluefin. And if you're wondering how the XRP trade is doing over on Bybit, by the way, also not too bad. I mean, we're up $30,000 on the float, and we already cashed at about $20,000. But the coolest part is that I only used $1,300 to make myself $50,000. So a lot of people say, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't turn $1,000 into $1 million in a bull run. Well, here's the proof that you can, because I mean, we turned 1,000 into 50. If I can do 1 to 50, you can do 50 to 1 million, right? I'm not saying it's easy, but I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Here also, we've got Bitcoin. We put $3,500 in. It is right now about 31,000. We should also do more on this stream account of mine, because here we actually put $2,000 into Bitcoin, and it is also up $44,000 over the past. It's been a long time, all right? I opened this at $34,000 per Bitcoin, and right now, obviously, it's 108. But the fact that we were able to turn just 2,000 into 45. That is still crazy. But this showcases how beautiful and how powerful trading with leverage can actually be. Just, to prove a little point here. If Bitcoin goes from $100,000 to $200,000, we could still have made, $20,000, for example, with just $2,000 of a position, or I should say, as margin. And if you're wondering how the bots over on Pionex are doing, yeah, beautiful, amazing. I mean, I must probably make another small update on my strategy soon, just to explain to people exactly what the plan is, because to me, this is literally the best thing that I've ever found in my life, one of the most profitable methods of trading, one of the most easy passive income things that I've ever found, really, but a lot of people still don't fully get how it works. I just want to let you know again once more, how beautiful it is and how beautiful they're doing. Just check it through. For example, some we opened about 70 days ago, the 𝗕𝗓𝘅, just in terms of what it's been able to cash out, 21%. And then the float, which is just the position and how much it's up or down, also plus 23% right here. But this grids is the most important part. It's just what it's been able to cash out over time of just doing nothing. I literally take my hands off, and my $250,000 bot here is now $20,000 in profit. We have another Bitcoin bot, $250,000 bot. It's right now $21,000 in profit for doing absolutely nothing. Take that in the back of your head, and let's dive into some more news. And I'll state that all the links for these can be found down below, by the way. Pionex for my bots and all the links to just copy the bots right away. 𝗬𝗓𝗋 is an exchange that works in even more countries, which is why I have it linked down below. Bluefin is the main exchange I use for trading right now. And Bybit, the problem is a lot of countries are not allowed to trade over on Bybit, so I'll skip it for right now. What I do think is very interesting, though, is what just came in right here. All right, breaking news. U.S. Secretary or Treasury Secretary 𝗵𝗫𝗃 says about 100 countries will get a minimum 10% reciprocal tariff. On July 9th, President Trump's 90-day tariff pause will officially expire. And one thing I find quite interesting with that is, man, 90 days go fast. I remember when it was, 90 days? Whoa, it's going to be in months and months. And now, all of a sudden, we're like 5 or 6 days out. So that's just to quickly prove a point of how fast things can move in the world, really, right? Maybe I'm getting older, but 90 days was nothing just now. And indeed, it is a very good question how the market will react to about 100 countries receiving a 10% or more reciprocal tariff. On the one hand, you could say, well, everybody's been waiting for it. The anticipation is quite high. We all expect it. On the opposite side, depending on how high the numbers will be to some countries, this could still be very, very bad. And again, we can make a good argument that the market has even already that priced in. Apparently, the United States also rescinded their export restrictions on chip software to China. So, from another angle, they probably know what they're doing. It's probably they probably thought about this and are going to end up with the market being quite green, regardless of what happens in the next few days. And there was also something that I think was quite interesting for all of us crypto holders, but specifically for the ones over in the United States. Apparently, Senator Cynthia Lummis introduced a bill to exempt tax on crypto transactions under $300. Now, I don't know really what the benefit of this is going to be. I mean, are we talking about purchases, or what type of tax are we talking about? From you sending it to another? I'm presuming they mean sort of capital gains tax for if you're spending it. But then from that angle, the $300 number is it seems so arbitrary that I feel as if people can really make use of this in a strange way to find some sort of loophole. Intern here said someone needs to make a rapid 299 TWAP product ASAP. It's basically a timed weighted average price thing where basically, let's just say it was capital gains, then it's just gonna spam 299 transactions all the time, so there's no tax. Because again, if it's a transaction or 300, that's the thing. Well, that's quite interesting. If you want to buy something that's worth 10 million, you just do it in a lot of increments of 300, you're fine. If you want to send 10 million, you do it in increments of 300, you're fine. I never really fully get that. I mean, obviously, this is what I'm saying is more in theory, in a fun way, but here, XRP Dynasty also says, what the frick is this? A tax break for ants, or what is it? Because it's such a low number for having really any really meaningful impact. But on my other side, I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe they want to get whatever they can get in terms of a tax break and then expand upon that break to increase it. But I never really believe that works that way. I believe once it's set at 300, it can only kind of go down lower, not higher, with the way that taxes work in the world. They kind of never want to go away again, right? They only want to go up. Let me remind you, though, that from a daily perspective, by the way, yesterday most of the gains were actually wiped out, and I'll probably make another update on my trades exactly in probably in a few hours or something like that. I was going to say most of the gains were actually wiped out. That led the market to kind of look like more of a continued downtrend, again, at the end of the day. Today, though, things were quite interesting because we again had a pretty massive pump throughout the night, with the highest point being $10.5 thousand. And depending on where we end up today, this could either be the breakout candle or the confirming candle, depending on how you see this little edge right there. It's not a clear breakout candle, this one. It's more of a basically edge. Whereas this is a clear breakout, but some would say this is the confirming candle we all need for the market to basically turn around. I would argue that we do need to actually, I don't want to touch my keyboard here, it's too far away, but that we do need to get above this level right here at roughly $110,000 or so with our close to get the confirmation that this downtrend is broken. Just reaching it is not it. We need to close above there. But that's all that we're waiting for right now. I am excited though for the market because, well, I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but I predicted this. I explained to you guys exactly why I'm longing right now. You saw the multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of orders I opened. Some of them did not get filled, unfortunately, because the market moved a little bit too fast, but I explained the theory in my video, worked out beautifully, and right now we just reap the benefits because the market, in my opinion, is going to continue setting through. Again, I cannot guarantee this, which is why I'm not all in with all my money, but we basically are more bullish right now than bearish, and the market also is, luckily for us, providing us for that, right? It's giving back the gains that we were hoping for. But yeah, for this video, that's about it. Make sure you press that like button if you enjoyed it. And again, every single one of you who comment, every single one of you like, I appreciate it a lot. It's just a better community feeling, but that's about it for right now.